Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For the Women in Leadership series, our guest today is Sadaf Raza. She is a poet, a rights activist, and a healer. Sadaf is Director Ideas for Life Trust and has conducted a number of researches and trainings on gender. She is also the founding president of Soroptimist International of Gandhara and the Federation Councillor of Soroptimist International of Great Britain and Ireland. She designs and conducts projects for the empowerment of women and girls through these platforms. So let's go and talk to Sadaf. Hi Sadaf, how are you?
I'm fine, Amira. How are you?
So nice to finally have you here, Sadaf.
Thank you. Thank you for having.
Sadaf, women CEOs run 10.4% of Fortune 500 companies today. This number has improved. It used to be 3.8% in 2014. So do you think that women are conditioned to not take leadership roles?
Of course. It's not in our genes, my dear. For eons, like thousands and thousands of years, we have been told to be subservient. We have been told to be in our place. We have been told to listen, to obey, not to question. Right. So it's been encoded in our genes. This is who we are for thousands of years. And just 100 or 200 years is not going to change it. It's going to take a lot of time to change this thing.
Right.
It's there everywhere. The women need to break the glass ceiling, but that glass ceiling is not at the organizational level. It's there in their head as well. They need to come out of their head. They need to realize who they are. They need to start their story as an individual, as a person, and not as a woman. This is what I do with my clients. I usually organize get-togethers at my place, and the women are there and they don't know each other. So I say, okay, introduce yourself. And they say, I am Mrs. this. I am using the rank of the husband. I am this. Not even, telling their name. So I say, I just stop them there. I say, I need to know your name and who you are. And the others want to know. This is not a place where you come with your, titles. Who you are, what you like, what you do. And then some of them become very apologetic. Oh, we are just housewives. There is no such thing as a housewife. The whole foundation of this society is resting on a house which you are maintaining diligently morning till evening. There is no break for you, so please don't be apologetic when it comes to saying
it's a huge job. It's a huge job.
It's a huge job. It's a huge job. It's like finances, relationships. It's like, managing hour to hour, and there is no acknowledgement of it. And they feel very bad. We don't do anything. We are just housewives. You have to use the word. We are all using it. Homemaker. Use something which is positive. But this is like the introduction. Then, of course, when I engage with my clients, and my clients, they are very damaged. These are the women who have been through a lot. And they are not uneducated women from rural areas. These are very highly educated, accomplished women. And still they are suffering. I start with their identity again. When you were born, when you were being raised, what was there in your heart? Who you are? What would you like to be? What makes you happy, comfortable? Opening up those places of themselves which they have not even realized that they're there. The social conditionings.
So Sadaf, there's a huge wage gap between men and women around the world. Why do you think the wage gap exists? What are the reasons for this? Do you think that women do not know how to negotiate their salaries?
We don't know anything, my dear. We are not taught what men are. The way men walk, the way men talk, the way they are, their body language. They are not apologetic. We're always, you look at women, because this is what I do. I look at women, I look how they are talking, how they are presenting themselves, even the most confident one, where their insecurity lies, and there are always insecurities. So when you are conditioned to think of yourself less, no matter how accomplished you are, even if you have a postdoctorate, you don't even measure up in your own eyes. Because fine, you have a postdoctorate, but you have 2 kids at home, and there is another woman and the whole society telling you are failing as a mother. So there is always something we women are competing against. We are never ever, we never ever feel at peace, at rest, comfortable with ourselves or our environment or at the top of our game, because this is something which patriarchy cannot stand, having us at the top of our game. So our conditioning is always, so when you think of your less, of course you're going to settle for less. You're going to whatever, let's say if someone is offering you 5,000, you say, okay, well, let me accept this 5,000. Probably I need to bring myself up to get 10,000. And then there are stories for us, always women, all over the world. This is not only in this, There are jokes about our bodies, our conditions, something which I really prize. The emotional component of a woman, being that woman who is nurturing, loving, healing in all relationships, and that is turned into a joke. So there is sexism there as everything. So we say, oh well, 7 days of month I can't be this, I'm not at my, I'm not doing so good, then I have to, I need to go a bit early because I have to get my son or my daughter. So we are always in our head doing all these up and down. So when we are at that level, of course we are not. A man is not thinking, when he is negotiating job, he is not thinking that there are 2 kids at home, that he needs to be there at 5 o'clock, that food needs to be there on the table.
Right.
Or he needs to go for grocery. He is selling himself at the highest. And we are always in our head negotiating with ourselves. And then whatever offer is made, we accept it. And this has become, because they know, because the patriarchy has made society in that way. And of course, the job environment and all this. People understand she's got 2 kids. She needs to, I'm a mother, I need to go early, you're not doing a favor to me. This is called equity. Understand? No, it's called a favor being given to a woman. So, all these stories, when you look at them, you see where we are coming from and how we are being, for the same position, we are offered peanuts, men are getting whatever they want.
So what advice would you give to aspiring women professionals who are stepping into the job market right now or who want to start their own businesses?
Yeah. Do not step into men's shoes. Do not become a man. Embrace who you are. Set your own work ethics. Work as a woman.
Can you explain
the female
that?
side of us is very strong. It's only, what we have been told. If you have to come up to the level of man, you have to become. No, I don't want to become a man. I want to be myself, a woman. I pride in being a woman. And I am more resilient. My body is more resilient. My emotions are more stable and strong. My biology has dictated that. It's not an ideal for me to become a man, to work like him. I work at my own pace. I'm very creative. I see different dimensions. This is what women needs to understand. We don't need to become men. We need to become our true self. And you can be. We all can be finding the right profession where our heart is. Do not selling ourselves small or less, putting ourselves at a pedestal. And I'm not talking about ego.
Right.
Understanding the strength that is within, that makes us do so much of multitasking each and every day. So, and finding again why we all need to work. Now I always tell my clients, start your own thing. What makes you? This is the age where you just need to have a passion to do something. If you have a passion, and if you have skill into that, if you have passion, you will work on improving your skills. And yes, you can be anything. And this is the age, this is the, my daughter is entering into this age. She can be anything she wants to be. Right. When I was young, this choice was not mine. There were certain professions, and even going into certain professions was not acceptable. I was the only women journalist in Peshawar at that time. And I was like, right, of course, struggling in that. So yeah, sky is the limit. Do whatever you want. Love whatever you are doing.
And don't underestimate yourself, your abilities.
Never.
Yes.
Never. Because each and every, we women, we have so much. So when we sit with ourselves, we understand our voice and not the conditioning and not the voices of the society and not what we have been told. We listen to who we are. We listen to the voice inside. So unlearn a lot of conditioning. Challenging yourself, pushing yourself.
Right.
And not being afraid. Afraid. We are always being told, we are always being made to fear. Everything is fearful. Going out is fear. And yes, of course, there are safe spaces, and there are more, and these safe spaces are shrinking.
Right.
The whole society is, of course, becoming at so many levels very hostile towards girls and women, children in general. Vulnerable, whoever is marginalized and vulnerable is suffering in this society. But then that fear needs not to be in the four walls of your house. The problem is that fear is always active. That fear is dictating all the actions, all the thoughts, everything. And through that filter, you cannot be anything you want to be. There's always, hi Allah, what will happen? Always living in the future, always, fearing failure. If a woman makes an independent decision, whether it is related to our family life, to financial opportunities, investments, her failure, and there's a chance of failure for everyone. It's not that for a woman, it's not. Her failure is never forgotten. If she fails in anything, that is always put on the table before her each and every second of her life. Men breeze through their failures and blame everything on whatever. They don't care. Okay, fine. We lost this much, so what?
Right.
But a woman needs to live with her failure and when you're made to live with the failure, the fear factor increases inside.
The way we handle failure or the way we handle disappointment is different for men and women, and women maybe take it too seriously where men are not taking it so seriously, and like you're saying, they just breeze through the whole thing, where women will take it so seriously and they will, their risk of failure increases for anything else that they need to do in life.
Yes, there is a reason. There are probably two approaches, you can call it, reasons for that. Some women, I'm not saying all women, but there is this conditioning in all of us of being made victims and finding consolation, salvation, and victimhood.
Right.
Because that increases your appeal. Okay? So sometimes, living with this kind of, what you call it, failure or setback, it goes into a loop with a woman. She's living with it by choice.
Yeah.
Every day, because that fulfills that need to be validated. Her salvation, consolation, that okay, I did this and I lost so much and now look at me. That kind of mentality. And the other, coming from the society, coming from the men, you're not capable of. You can't make decisions about this.
Right.
So for her, a failure is not a simple. This is all women of this society, and all over the world, there are choices every day. Am I a good mother, a good wife, a good this, a good, for that matter, CEO of a organization? So always like questioning. And whenever something bad happens, that conditioning is there in the mind, and see, it was my decision, it was my doing that turned it into such a disaster. And then either going into the victimhood mode or having it presented on the face 1,000 times a day, and then completely losing confidence with both these conditionings. Being a victim has no confidence. You are a victim now. No confidence. The only confidence comes because I've been wronged and this is the only place where I exist. And the other, when this conditioning that I have to now, even a simple decision of, let's say, going out, I need to question, is it the right time? Am I doing the right thing? Am I leaving stuff behind? Is anyone going to suffer when I'll be out? So a simple decision of going out becomes such a huge thing. Do we see men struggling with stuff like that in their head? And since I go into the head of my clients, that's where I'm coming from.
Right. Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure talking to you, and we must do this again. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Amra. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my talk with Sadaf. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.